Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the 12.7mm SMG mod, which is being released by user Bones. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is, well, the 12.7mm SMG from Fallout New Vegas, and I love this thing, as I do always enjoy weapons from previous games in the franchise being added into Fallout 4. It is also one of my favorite guns from New Vegas. I always did like the look of the SMG here, and am happy to have it here in the game. So let's jump on over this way and have a look at what exactly we do get with the 12.7mm SMG, which in its most basic form will do 62 damage with a 12.7mm round with a firing rate of 33, range of 119, accuracy of 65 for a weight of 7.1. Not too bad at all there. And as you can see, this thing looks gorgeous. Very nice on the modeling and texturing to it. It certainly does look the part to a degree to the 12.7mm SMG. This is, of course, like I said, the most basic modified version of it. You can make it look more properly like the 12.7mm SMG from New Vegas with the handrail parts over here, or the handrail part back here, and the foregrip up here having the bits that go down and over. Those are all available through different modifications. But on this basic version, it still looks quite cool as its own interesting little SMG, and I do very much like it. Now, as for how you get your hands on one of these lovely things, well, it's pretty darn simple. Once you do get to level 25, you'll find these things on gunners as well as in weapon vendors in Diamond City and Good Neighbor. So you're gonna have to wait a bit to get these things, but with the power that they have in their most basic form, there's some pretty good mid-game weapons, and with modifications, definitely can go into the later game quite easily. And you've got plenty of modifications on these things to really change them up quite a bit to really make whatever it is you're wanting to out of this gun, which is pretty freaking cool. I do really like all the different modifications here. So let's take a look at what we do have over in the weapon workbench. Starting with, of course, the receiver category, where it's the pretty typical stuff going from light to hair trigger all the way up to our advanced and powerful. And we do, of course, have them in either automatic or semi-automatic forms. And damage-wise, again, like I said, these are good for the mid to late game because, I mean, come on, an automatic receiver with 71 damage is going to chew through enemies great. And the advanced receiver here at the 108 ain't too shabby on its own either. Now then, the barrel category, we've got the standard stub barrel, but we also have a short, makeshift, long, and marksman. These larger ones here I find quite interesting because they really do kind of change this thing up from an SMG to more of a carbine or rifle, though still using, of course, a more SMG caliber of round, which is pretty neat. Now, then in the grip category, we've got the makeshift, the comfort standard, which is the more traditional looking one from New Vegas, and of course a sharpshooter's grip, which is just a slight variation on the standard. And then in the stock category, we've got nothing, a homemade, folded, wooden, folded, light, full folded, marksman with folded, a lot of folding options here, and a recoil compensating one, and a folded version. So you got a lot of fun options here of how to have the design of this gun meet what you want it to be. And what's cool on the different folded versions, they're still going to give you the same stats, which honestly I kind of find a little bit weird. You'd think accuracy-wise for a stock it'd go down if it was folded compared to, you know, not being folded. But oh well, it's all about the, you know, aesthetics of the thing in that degree. So then next we have the foregrip on this thing, where we've got the light, improved, makeshift, standard, marksman, and bladed. And I gotta say, The makeshift one I kind of think is my favorite just because it looks very Fallout with the weird blade jutting out there. Second would probably be the just the normal standard one. It looks wonderful. Always did like that design. Now then, in the magazine category, we've got small, quick eject, medium, quick eject, large, and a quick eject, as well as an interesting top-loaded variant. So you actually load this thing more like a P90 rather than an MP5, which is pretty freaking cool. And then finally, we have a drum magazine for if you just want all the bullets in the world to go down range. Good times. Now then, in the sight category, we've got 3 options for the iron sights here, either standard, makeshift, or improved. All very good options, but you may be wondering, well, what about all the other sights? Well, we have an entirely separate category for that. That's the scope category, where we've got a reflex, handmade one, a short scope, recon, handmade medium, and just a lot of good options in here, including night vision variants. And it just kind of goes sort of on top of the thing, again, borrowing from a bit of a P90 feel there, but I still think it's quite cool. Now, then after that, we have the muzzle category. We've got the pretty typical things of compensator, muzzle brake, and then 3 different suppressors to choose from, depending on your aesthetic. And then finally, we actually have a material category, where as you can see here, we've got a lot of fun different options for paint jobs on this thing, from just various camos to different faction colors to Red Dawn, if you want to go that way. It's pretty darn cool, and I love, since it is a New Vegas gun, that we do have Legion and NCR included in here too. Very nice, and yeah, just gonna take some oil to paint this thing up however you do please. So very nice there, and that is it for all the different modifications on this thing. A lot of great options, not just for the aesthetics, but also the usability of the gun, and with, once more, those great receivers upping the damage, this thing is pretty great. In fact, on the damage front, I was able to get it to the 71, of course, with the fully automatic, and 108 with that semi-automatic one there. So these are gonna do some pretty good damage. Now, let's, of course, start with the standard basic gun here, where it is in semi-automatic mode, and fire. There we go, a pretty much normal animation there, nothing too crazy about that. Very good controllable gun, a very slow firing rate with the standard receiver, but hey, that's why you upgrade these things in the future. But overall, not a whole lot of kick, very easy to stay on target if you know, are a good shot, unlike me, and just overall a nice weapon. Now then, of course, we can get to ones like this powerful automatic version here with a nice 40 rounds with a drum magazine, and we can just let loose. And I'm not compensating at all right now, and we just went through 40 rounds, and we went from that target line. Oh, I love that wind. I forgot about the winding bit of that animation. That's pretty cool. We went from the target up to that right there. So that's how easy to control this thing is. You can very easily keep it on target without any issues and just put plenty of rounds downrange at your enemies. And that is a pretty sweet animation there. And then, of course, I've got the suppressed advanced one here at 108 damage, and I went with the top-loading one on this one, again, giving it that P90 feel. And, of course, it's basically been turned into a nice sniping gun at this point. With the top-feeding magazine there, we get a good amount of ammo for it. And, yeah, just nice, smooth top-load animation. Again, with that P90 feel, it's very cool. And just kind of nice to have different options, not just from the normal aesthetics or size of magazines, but actually switching up the types and animations. That's always fun to see. And there we go, some nice shooting done with those, so let us go and grab our usual Death Claw and see how this fares against them. I'm guessing well, so there we go, let's pop that in, and we'll take them out with this one first. Hello, Death Claw! And you're dead already, magnificent! Get that nice top-load animation, beautiful. And then we'll switch over to the fully automatic one, lovely. And of course, there we are. Run away, get back into my cheese spot, and die, Deathclaw! Oh god, he glitched out weird over there. Bethesda games. Lovely. We could have killed him a lot more quickly if I wasn't such a horrible shot, but still, with one drum magazine, we were able to take him down with no real issue. So yeah, that is the 12.7mm SMG mod. It is a great little thing. I love having this back from New Vegas. It was one of my favorite guns in that particular game, and with all the different modifications we got on this thing, you can really have a whole lot of fun with it, and just in general, it's a neat gun that you'll have a good time with. So hopefully you have enjoyed this one today, and you come back for whatever mod we took a look at next. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, we'll have a good one.